It was a chaotic and often heated hearing on Capitol Hill today with Attorney General Merrick Garland. This was supposed to be a routine oversight hearing in which the Attorney General in years past would answer questions about the border crisis, about crime and law enforcement around the country. No more. Today's hearing was filled with grievances and accusations of malfeasance and calls for impeachments of the president and of the Attorney General himself. It was the first time Garland appeared before the Judiciary Committee since the special counsel indicted former President Donald Trump and since indicting Hunter Biden on felony gun charges. Garland faced accusations of both going too far and of not doing enough, and of using the Justice Department as a political weapon. The Attorney General forcefully pushed back against their claims that his department is politically biased.
Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate. As the president himself has said, and I reaffirm today, I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor.
NewsNation's Joe Khalil is live for us tonight on Capitol Hill with all the highlights from that fiery hearing today. And Joe, Republicans wasted no time asking the Attorney General about Hunter Biden. They spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah, they did, Elizabeth. And none of the allegations Republicans put forward today are new. These are things we've heard before. But it was different to have the Attorney General actually in the room having to respond face to face and knock some of these allegations down. And I can say we were in the room as well. Attorney General Merrick Garland's not one to be overly angry, emotional, or get animated. But I can tell you it was tense at moments today.
Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient.
Attorney General Merrick Garland in the hot seat, defending his Department of Justice against Republican accusations of bias, slow-walking the Hunter Biden case, and being heavy-handed and aggressive in prosecuting Donald Trump.
The fix is in. Even with the face-saving indictment last week of Hunter Biden, everyone knows the fix is in.
House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan accused the DOJ of intentionally allowing a statute of limitations on some Hunter Biden-alleged tax crimes to expire. Republicans also allege Merrick Garland himself, possibly the Biden White House, are calling the shots in Hunter's case rather than special counsel David Weiss.
The same prosecuting attorney, who is now the special counsel, gave a sweetheart deal to that person.
Other Republicans say Weiss himself can't be trusted to prosecute Hunter Biden fairly. But the Republican allegations are, so far, just that, allegations. There's no evidence Attorney General Garland or the White House has interfered with either Hunter Biden's case or those against former President Trump.
Mr. Attorney General, I want to give you a chance to respond. Was the president telling the truth or was he lying when he said that President Biden told you to indict him?
No one has told me to indict, and in this case, the decision to indict was made by the special counsel.
And on the accusations against special counsel David Weiss, the man overseeing Hunter Biden's case, AG Garland quick to point out Weiss was not only appointed by former President Trump, but that it was Republican senators who urged Garland not to replace Weiss when Garland became Attorney General.
I promised the Senate when I came before it for confirmation that I would leave Mr. Weiss in place and that I would not interfere with his investigation.
Okay, did you ever...
I have kept that promise.
Elizabeth, all of this intrinsically tied to Republicans' effort and the impeachment inquiry as well into President Biden. The White House did respond today. Ian Sams, one spokesperson, putting out a statement today saying here in part, quote, extreme House Republicans are running a not-so-sophisticated distraction campaign to try to cover up their own actions that are hurting America to be dangerous and costly government shutdown. That being the response, again, Elizabeth, from the White House saying that this is a Republican effort to essentially deflect from the turmoil happening here in Congress.
All right, Joe Khalil, thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.